Hi. Good afternoon, good day. How are you doing? How is everyone? We are on to be unashamed with I'm able to you. How are we today? It's been a week already. Yeah, last week we are supposed to have a guest on the show, but well, God knows best. And so again, I give glory to God how far He has brought me, and I want to appreciate everyone that has been joining since this show started for your support, your prayers, and all. I really appreciate you. Okay, so today we'll be having Samuel Williams as our guest. He will be telling us about his experience as a child. He was sexually abused by, someone that was supposed to be a trusted person, that he was entrusted to. And things didn't just work out the way they thought it should. So, um, let's see if someone is ready. Um, just a minute, please. Okay. So if you are just joining me, thank you. Good afternoon. You're welcome. This is Be Unashamed with Amiable to you. Be Unashamed, the platform for sexually abused victims, survivors who wants to share their story to encourage others, and we're also here to help out. If you want to share your story, like Samuel is coming live today, but he's going to be anonymous. You're not going to see his face. Hi there. You're not going to see his face, but you will be hearing his voice. So if you want to be like that also, you can also do that. But if you want to come live, be bold and courageous just like me, you're also welcome. And like I said, we help victims, young children, we educate and all that, even parents. Hi there, you're welcome. Okay, so we're having. Hello, Samuel, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
All right, so Samuel, thanks for joining and thanks for um, you know, wanted to share your story with us. We're really glad, and we are so anticipating. We want to hear what you want to tell us. And so many people we are we think that the female gender are more at risk, but I'm here to shock you. It's not just the female. The males too. They are really much at risk, and you need to be on the lookout. You need to be vigilant, be attentive to your children, be careful with your children and who you leave your children with. Okay, so Samuel, please can you introduce yourself in a bit?
Well, my name is Samuel Williams, which happens not to be my real name.
Okay, we know that.
Well, that's who I am.
All right.
I'm a young man.
Okay.
Well, that's all
All
about
right.
me.
So what do you do?
I'm a businessman. I'm an entrepreneur.
All right. That's good. Thank you. Okay, so today, why we have a story with us. Okay, so can we get to that? Can you tell us your story? What happened to you? When? Where? How?
Okay. Well, growing up was wonderful. There were good experiences, and then of course there were the terrible experiences. And I remember this morning I was on Twitter and I was arguing. I saw a trend where a lady said, almost every lady has been sexually abused at a point in time. And I actually think that
Mm-hmm.
almost every young man, almost every young boy who had a maid while they were growing up, or who had
Who
an
are the
aunt,
maid?
yes, who had an house
An
help
aunt.
or an aunt who was staying with them, also
Mm-hmm.
had been molested as a child.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Most
that's
of
true.
young boys. Now, but then the thing is, everybody has a sad story, everybody has a bad story to say. But how that
Yeah.
story defines our future, how we let that story rather define our future, is what makes
Mm-hmm.
us or breaks us. Now, my story, I was 6 years old. We grew up in Port Harcourt. Her name was Rachel. I remember the first day she came into our house, and then we just moved into a new apartment in Second Artillery in Port Harcourt. I like the events of that day, even though I was very, very young, they're still very fresh in memory. We were in the room, we
Hmm.
were playing this hide and seek. Somebody would hide in the wardrobe, somebody would hide in the bed, somebody would hide under the bed. We're
Mm-hmm.
just playing that game up and down. It was
Mm-hmm.
me, my younger sister, and the maid herself. And then there was a particular
Okay.
time where, because the way we were playing, it was one person was going to look for two people. You understand? So there's a particular time it
Okay.
was my sister's turn to look for me and her. So we hid
Okay.
under the bed. We hid under the bed, and the space there wasn't really much, so we were very close to each other. And then next thing you know, she was caressing me. She was playing with my sexual organ, and next thing I knew, we were having sex there under the bed. That was the very first time I had sex for the very first time under the bed, and I was 6. And that happened like subsequently, it kept on happening. Obviously, not under the bed anymore, on top of the bed and different places, but it was happening
Wow.
every blessed day, and sometimes
Every
more than
day. Did you say
once a
every
day.
day?
Yes, it was happening
Wow.
every day, and it was happening frequently. Like there were times that it could be twice in a day. We were staying in the same room. Then we were staying in a two-bedroom apartment. So my dad and my mom used the
In
room.
the
They shared a
room.
room. Then me, my younger sister, and the maid shared a room. No, my parents are this kind of people that even when they had help, house helps and maids around, they always treated them like family. So,
Which is
so
supposed to be. Yeah.
she was treated like family. So there was no segregation as per this is where my children would sleep, this is where the maid would sleep. No, we were eating together, we were sleeping together, and my parents practically left us to them anytime they weren't around. So we're sleeping
Sorry,
in the
can I
same.
ask a question? Like, how old was she?
I don't have an accurate um number to her age, but
Okay.
she was in her late teens. She was like 15 upwards, like she was in her late
Okay.
teens. She was not a
Okay.
child per se. She was she was considerably way bigger than me. She was in her late teens or maybe early 20s. But she should be between 18 and 20 thereabouts. She was really,
Okay.
really older than me then. And so it happened every day, sometimes more than once, twice. She was in our house for till I left for secondary school. Now I left for secondary school when I was 9 years old. So basically, from when I was 6 years old to when I was 9, I was having sex every day, more than once,
Wow.
numerous times. Now, what does that do to a child? What does that do to a child? What does that do to a young boy who is growing up, who has been exposed to sexual activities at such a young age?
Yeah, that
Where
brings
he's
me to
getting
the
the
question I want to ask that what was the effect on you?
okay. Now, when I left for secondary school, fortunately, I got into a boarding school. Then from Port Harcourt, my mom brought me down to Akure that, okay, I'm from Ondo State, I should, school in my state so that I could learn how to speak Yoruba and all that. So I was put into Aquinas College, which is
Okay.
an all boys school, you understand? So there was um there was no access to a woman. But then I was used to sleeping with a woman every blessed day.
Hi.
For that period, I was okay. There was no problem. But then I didn't stay more than I didn't even use the whole of the GS1 in Aquinas then when I left back for Port Harcourt and I continued my secondary school in Port Harcourt. Now that was where the
And
problem
she was still
started.
in your house there.
She was no longer in our house.
Okay.
She was no longer in our house. And that was where the problem started because I was coming back to the house with that expectation that Sister Rachel is at home waiting and we will just continue from where we stopped. It had become like a normal way of life
My
to me.
routine.
So I was expecting that. And then when I got home and I was told that okay, she was no longer with us, I was devastated. I was broken down. I was really, really
Wow.
demoralized. And of course, now my sexual urges were off the roof, which means Sister Rachel was not around. I needed to let that sexual steam off somewhere else.
Huh.
Now, that was GS2. Slept with some of my classmates then. And it was rampant. Like it just kept on like the whole sex because basically I was exposed to a life of constant
Oh,
sex.
yeah,
And so
taken.
my urge for sex was so high. And when I wasn't getting it from the person who gave it to me regularly, I sought out other people, my classmates, my friends. I remember the the compound we were staying there, the landlady's daughter, the landlady's granddaughter.
Wow.
We had sex numerous times and we were children. I was in GS2, she was in GS3. She was in GS3, I was in GS2, and we were just falla, 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 falla. We were just doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. So the sexual
Okay.
urge was just crazy. Up until it actually got me sick because that was when my parents now knew what was wrong because it affected my health. I really can't explain how it affected my health, but I broke down and I think I had a toilet disease. And when I got to the hospital, the doctor said, okay, I could have only gotten sick from, it was a sexually transmitted infection. So now I was in SS1
And,
and
and and and you were how old then?
I was about 13 thereabouts. I was about 13 thereabouts. I was about 13 thereabouts. I had a sexually transmitted infection. I had an STI. And of course, it now begs the question that how does a 13-year-old boy have
Okay.
STI?
Let's
You
see.
understand? And then the doctor advised us to go see a counselor in the hospital there. And then we went to see a counselor in the hospital who redirected us to see a physiotherapist. And we just saw lots of people. And then finally, I was able to open up to my parents that, okay, this is what happened. This is what happened. This is what has been happening.
Wow.
So
Okay,
basically,
let me
it's
ask a
become like
question.
a normal way
Okay,
of life to me.
okay, I want to ask. Um, we somehow there is always someone that was at fault, that was wrong. Who can you say was at fault? Like maybe your parents were not sensitive enough, or maybe it was you, or maybe you didn't have a very good relationship with your parents, so you could even tell them that something like this was going on. And then was it like you were okay, like the way you put it, like you didn't even did you know that what you were doing was wrong? Let me first of all ask that.
Well,
Did you
okay,
think it was
when it all
wrong?
started, initially, I didn't see it as being wrong or anything. Well, obviously, by the time I got into secondary school, even primary school and early secondary school, that just one about, and I got into school, I was more exposed. I was exposed to lots of people by just one. I had seniors and people share stories and all that. I definitely knew it was wrong, but then I had so gotten used to it that it had become like an addiction.
You
Now, if you
started
look at
it
smokers,
started so early, so definitely it's going to end up in addiction. And you were doing it every
smokers,
day.
most smokers know that it's not good to smoke, you understand? But then they just keep on smoking because it has become part and parcel of them.
They can't
That was
help
how I
themselves.
was. I was addicted to it. Even though I knew it was wrong, I was just totally addicted to it. And so the
No.
sexual urge was just off the roof. It was totally off the roof.
Why?
Now, the question you asked that who was wrong? Was it my
Yeah.
parents? Now, I've come to understand that there are some certain things that happen in life that you can't really blame one person for being wrong. I
Yeah,
can't
sure.
blame my parents for being wrong. My dad had to go to work. My mom sacrificed work for we the children. My mom is a journalist. She used to work
Okay.
in TV station. She sacrificed work for we the children. when she was at home. But then at the point in time, she had to get a shop, and then she was selling clothes and stuff like that. So now when we leave school, most times we go to the shop,
Okay.
then from shop we'll come to the house with Momsy. You understand? Now the maid then, she was in secondary school. She was in, I think, SS2 or SS3 thereabout. But she was in secondary school. And I remember that my mom also put her in a school. You understand? So now when all of us come home together, she was just there to help my mom in the kitchen, try to assist with the work. But it wasn't like they were leaving us to her alone. No. I remember most times when we leave school, then my mom was telling, she had a shop at Real Massive Market in Port Harcourt. From school, we'd go to the shop, and then Popsy would come pick all of us and take us home. By the time we get home, Sister Rachel would have, taken care of the house, and then Momsy gets home, Momsy goes to prepare dinner, she'll assist Momsy in preparing dinner. Then when we go to sleep at night, she would
Okay.
have sex with me. So now I can't really say I would blame my parents for the fact that somebody was sleeping with me at night, because it wasn't like they abandoned their responsibilities as parents. No, they carried out their responsibilities very well. But then evil exists in this world, and we can't just place the blame on anybody. Evil just exists,
Yeah.
because I don't see it as anything other than evil for an 18-year-old or 19 or 20-year-old lady to be having sex with a 6-year-old boy.
That's really
Yes. And
terrible.
my parents were in the parlor. My sister was in the room looking for us. We were under the bed. You understand?
Okay,
It's
so
not
now
just
the
small
ones
things like
that
that.
happened on the bed, because you said subsequently it happened on the bed, it was no longer under the bed. Where was your sister? Was she also in the room or she would be outside the room?
She was in the room. But most times it happened at night when she was sleeping.
She was sleeping.
She was sleeping, and it just kept on happening. Sometimes in the afternoon also, like maybe, of course, obviously there'll be times that daddy and mommy would leave the house, they would leave the children at home.
Hmm.
uh
Wow,
It would happen sometimes in the morning, just different times of the day.
that's really terrible. Okay, so you said when your parents found out, what was their reaction?
Well, I can never forget that day when my parents found out. When my mom found out, it was my mom that she for broke down in tears. My dad, well, is a man. A man would always be a man. I'm not trying to segregate any sex here, but then um, men tend to not show emotions in times like that. So Popsy was the one who was the strong one who, you know, brought mom around, like calmed down and everything. There was this anger, like, they want to go and look for that Rachel wherever she is. Of course, we didn't know where she was. The
Hmm.
lady, they called the lady that helped us get her, because they got her
Mm-hmm.
from Iluabu. I think Iluabu is a town very close to Akure here.
I
That
think it's in
airport,
the state, yes.
yes, is in Ondo State, just after airport. That's where they got her from.
Yeah.
So they called the lady that helped us get her. They couldn't get in touch with her, and my dad was just like, they should let her go. But there's no way she was going to come and take away the damage she had done to me already. That the damage had already
Yeah.
been done. That they should just let it
Yes.
go. And so they put me through counseling, and I want to thank God for the kind of parents I have. I want to thank God for the kind of parents I have. And
Okay.
also, I want to thank God because I had that sexually transmitted infection. Because if I didn't have that, they wouldn't have known. And I wouldn't have
Mm-hmm.
said a word about it because I
About
was
it.
totally addicted to it. Now, after the
Okay.
STI, after I saw counselors, that was one of the most trying moments of my life.
So
I
how
was
did you
fighting
get
the
through it?
addiction.
How was the healing process and all?
Now, I'm going to show you, I'm going to give you a mental picture of how my life was, how high the
Okay.
sexual urge was. It was as bad as me walking on the road and just seeing a lady in skirts with a nice shape, and the next thing I have an erection on the road. It was that bad.
No, wait. Are you just trying to give that as an illustration, or that was what happened to you?
That was that was how bad that was how bad the sexual urge was. In secondary school, I had the name then. I had a name in secondary. I had a nickname in secondary school. I'm not gonna say that nickname because if any of my secondary school mates should
Yeah, they will
ever,
know it's you, right?
they
Yeah, I
would know it's
understand.
me. But then, um, my secondary school mates, my secondary school mates knew I always had erections, like constantly, like till date. Some of my friends still joke about it, and it's this whole like maybe once a lady passes, my erection follows the lady. You know, so I was always
Eh.
sexually attracted to everybody. My sexual urge
Wow.
was just off the roof.
That's a whole lot. Okay, so I asked that, how did you get over this? What was the healing process? What was the. And
Well, it took
your parents finding out was must have been a very terrible one, because I'm sure you maybe you felt bad, like disappointed them or something, or maybe you didn't even know what their reaction would have been. But like you said, thank God for the kind of parents you have. Yeah.
yeah. Thank God
So
for the kind of
what
parents
what
I
did
have.
they do? And
They were support. Well, I had to change secondary school. I changed secondary school because they took me to a secondary school that was I had to go to a secondary school that was closer to home. You know,
okay.
um, they discussed with some teachers, give them some instructions on how to help me. Then one of the counselors met with the counselor. One of the counselors that I was seeing outside of school met with the counselor that we had in school, and
Yeah.
placed me on some programs. And I was always going to see the counselor every day, and they placed me on some drugs then too. I think hormonal balance drugs, something like that. I can't even remember the name of the drug. They placed me
At
on some
that
drugs,
age.
trying to balance my raging hormones, because it
Hmm.
was raging. Like it was very bad. Like it disgraced, and I think that was probably part of what helped me overcome it, because um, it disgraced me a lot. Just picture a young guy walking on the road and then
Having
something is
erection.
hiding before, and then having to hide it. Like it was that bad. The secondary school, all my classmates knew that okay, this guy was someone who used to always have. You understand? It was that bad.
Yeah.
It was that
Wow,
bad.
thank God. Thank God you've healed. You're now a grown man. Okay, so my next question is, are you married?
No, I'm not married.
Okay. You're still single, but you've had an experience. Yeah, and no, let me put it like this. So being a father, how do you think this experience can help you in raising your kids? Maybe better, or
Well, at the end of the day, okay, now, like I said earlier, that my parents didn't do anything wrong. As a matter of fact, my parents had more time for we, their children, even than
yeah.
some other parents. And I wouldn't say it
Mm-hmm.
was a crime that they had a help. I wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
call that a crime. So same, I wouldn't say that okay, well, because we've heard of stories of people who of I've had stories from friends, like when we were sharing stories and experiences and all that. I've had stories of friends who were molested as children by their mom's sisters. You understand?
Okay.
By their mom's sisters. Same way I've had female friends who were molested by their mom's brothers, their father's brothers. So now
Yes.
would I say that
It happens that
the,
most of our abusers are the people that we know, people that we're meant to even trust, people that are meant
exactly?
to even supposed to help us, support us. They are the ones that do the worst things to us.
So it begs the question now, what do you do? Because would you say that someone who is married should restrict all family members from coming to their house? Would you say someone who
That's
is married
fine.
to restrict visitors from coming to their house? You understand? Like these things are things that are not really easy to um, guard against.
Hmm.
But then I think the better thing would be to start teaching children sexual education as early as
Yes,
possible.
it's possible.
Because now, for
Yes.
instance, if at my early age I had been taught sexual education, I had been exposed to the dangers of it all. When the maid approached me, I would have run to mom, ah, mommy, oh, what you said, oh, auntie so 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 and so is
Exactly.
doing this,
You're
doing
doing
stuff.
something. Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's one major point that we need to talk about in the sense that we have um I've heard of from friends who see their parents never give them the sex talk. We watch American movies and then we hear, we see others who and the parents wanted to have the sex talk with their children and all
I
that.
didn't have one. What all I had was if you get pregnant, your father will shoot you.
Exactly.
I didn't
Okay.
have anything
Now,
like that.
I really didn't have the sex talk too. I really didn't have the sex talk. It was until after that the incident and then counselors, I was getting the sex talk from counselors. You understand? And then that was when I prompted the whole sex talk with all my siblings and all that. But
Mm-hmm.
of all my friends, I remember my very good friends. I have like five very close friends. And then there was it I was just asking them that at what age do your parents give you the sex talk? And they were like, which kind of sex talk? The guys were like, never, never. The ladies were like, maybe when they were in secondary school, SS2, the mom would just be like, hey, if you come home with pregnancy, I will disown
Pregnancy.
you. That's not a sex
Mm-hmm.
talk. You
No,
understand? That's not
no,
sex
at
talk.
all.
So
Yeah.
at a very early age, as early as in primary schools, a child who's in primary one, primary two should be introduced to sex education,
Yes,
should be
yes.
taught
As long they
dangers.
can identify this is auntie, this is uncle. I have twins. You
Exactly.
have vagina. They should be able to let them know that this is what this is what this is for. This is what you should not do. This is what you should do. This person does this to you. Run, tell mommy, come and ask, mommy, this person is doing this thing. Is it right? Is it okay? I have an auntie, she was telling me that she makes her children sit with her. And then when they're watching maybe a program or movie, and then when they're doing all those kind of things, those abuse and all, when the children will be asking her, mommy, is that right? And she'll ask them, do you think it's right? And they'll be like, no. And then she'll say, if you say it's wrong, that means it is very wrong. And that's just it. So with that, they are already getting the education they need. It's not until you tell them, oh yeah, lie down, this is better. No, they don't need to even get to secondary school. They don't even. There are some things that I feel like our parents neglect. They live especially even in this our generation. They leave the everything that a child needs to learn to the teachers at school. And I feel that there are some things that it's meant to be the parents that are meant to do it, not the teachers.
Yeah, that's
Everybody has
true.
what they are carrying all about. Some teachers don't even know it. So how will you expect a teacher to come and teach your child something that is not even in the school curriculum in the first place? How do you expect the teacher to come and teach your child what she doesn't even know, what he doesn't even know? So I think, well, with the way things are right now, we are now everybody. I think everybody, if not everybody, like 75% of the world is now aware of sexual abuse. And so we should know that we should give our children this education as early as
Uh,
possible. Okay, so can you give us a word for parents, especially on male child upbringing?
yeah. Okay. Yes. There's this emphasis on safeguarding the female child.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
There's this emphasis on the
Hello.
female child. Can you hear me?
Oh.
Can you hear
Hello.
me? Can
Okay,
you
I
hear
can hear
me?
you now. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. There's this emphasis on the female child. The
Yes.
fact is, no child is more important than the other. No sex is more important than the other. The male
At all.
child, the female child, they're both important. They both deserve
Yes.
the same type and kind of attention. They both
Yes.
deserve the same kind and type of education. The same way
Yes.
the male child is educated, the same way the female child should be educated. Sexual
Yes.
education should start from small because this whole rape thing now is just a circle. Now let me give you an example now. Just imagine if I never had the STI, I never had that infection, and I never got to get the counseling I needed. I tell you that even up till now, there are times when
You
I have
probably might be
issues.
a rapist.
No, even up till now, even now that I've been, I know better and all that, there's still times where I fight with that part of me. Even till now, there's still times
Wow.
when I battle with that aspect of me. You understand? So
Wow.
now imagine that my parents never knew about it. I never had the STI, I never had counselors talk to me, and I just continued with that crazy sexual urge. It would surely get to a point that if I can't get what I want from people around, I would start trying to get it forcefully from people. You understand?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
99%,
Yes.
or
Yes. Yes.
let me say 95% of people, of guys who are rapists today now, are products of child molestation.
Exactly. Yes.
They've never told anybody about all what they went through. They've just bottled it in, and it has driven them crazy right from child. And then
Yes.
they grow
Yes.
up with
You're
that
very
same
right.
mentality and that same sexual urge. So definitely,
Mm.
once they can't get it, they like it's not just about once they can't get it. It was a point whereby
You force it.
the sexual drive was so high that I would have sex today. By tomorrow, I'm running crazy. I need to have sex again. You understand? It was that bad.
Yeah.
I had sex in the morning. By evening, I see another woman with skirts. I'm going crazy already.
Wow.
So now imagine I had no help. Imagine I had no help at all. It would have been
Thank
bad.
God.
But that's what's happening to lots of people. There are lots of people who
Yes.
don't have
Yes.
help, who as children have been exposed to terrible things, really terrible
Yes.
things. And of course, we
Yes.
can't also rule out the place of people who were married and were staying in one room, and then the husband and wife are in the same room with the children. And of course, these children will
And they do it
sometimes see
there.
what's happening between the father
With,
and the mother. And of course, they want to
and they want
practicalize
to
it.
practice.
And they
Yes.
grew up with that mentality without ever having counseling, ever having somebody change that mentality for them. They grew
Yeah.
up with
Yeah.
that mentality. And that's why terrible
I can hear
mentality
you.
and a really spoils biased mentality. And so it has just been a circle. An older aunt molests a small boy. That small boy grows up and molest another young lady, or even a big lady, or anybody molested. And the circle just keeps on, it just keeps on
Like
going and going. Small boy becomes a rapist, rapes a small girl, the small girl too grows up, molests a small boy. And it just continues like that. So to break the circle, we need to start from the young children, the young generation we have now, the children we have now, those that are young now. Sex education,
yeah.
as a child of 2 years, a child of 3, 4 knows not to go touch electricity
Yeah.
because that's the mother. If you see a child going to electricity, you see the mother shouting on the child. The same way, children should be taught from small.
Yeah. Okay. So my last question for you is what is your advice to young male victims? Maybe somebody that has an experience like you and wants to talk and wants to share his story or a story as well. Like, what do you have to say to them? Briefly.
But I would say they should share that story because I've discovered that talking actually does help.
Okay.
Talking
Yes,
does help.
definitely.
Talking really, really helps. The best help I had was by talking to people, by talking to counselors, by talking to my parents, and then at some point talking to some friends. Because I remember the university, I shared, just talked and talked about it, understand, shared ideas and all that. It really helped because it made me feel like okay, I wasn't alone. I was not the only one I'm not the only one who has experienced
With this,
this.
yeah.
You understand? I'm not alone in the world in this terrible childhood story. You understand? So it really
Yes.
helped me. So my advice to anybody who has experienced
Okay.
molestation as a child, anybody who has been raped as a child, talk about it. Find someone you can talk to.
Thank you.
There's the wonderful Toyosi here. You can talk to her. But the point is talk to somebody.
Yes, yes. Okay, thank you so much. I am glad that you even obliged me. I know how much I really talked you into this, and thank you so much for sharing this. I really appreciate. And so, viewers, you've heard him. If maybe you didn't start with us, you can catch the replay later. You know, someone shared his experience about being molested as a child, you know, by their maid and all that. Okay, so like you said, please, if you were a victim, you need to talk. It starts from talking. You don't have to come live, but just talk. You know, you can even write it down. That is another way of talking. Write it down. One day you will have the courage to tell someone. From there, you have the courage. Maybe you even need a counselor. Maybe you need help like that, like the way he got help too. And most importantly, please, parents, do not forget, like I always emphasize, instill the fear of God in your children. Let them know who God is. Let them understand that their body is the temple of the most high God. Give them the sex education on time, very as early as possible, as early as they can hear and they can pronounce mama, papa. Please tell them. If you're even you as a mother, you can tell the child that if your dad is doing this. I think I read a story about a lady telling her child that if your dad wants to beat you and he touches you, shout, call me, I'll come. You know, and there are some that can do it to the extreme actually, but please just educate your child. And I want to say it again. Please talk, talk and talk and talk. It helps. It gives you that freedom. It gives you. It lifts that burden from you. That's the first step of it. Then maybe then you can get counseled and all that. So I really appreciate everyone who has stayed back to watch us to the end. I appreciate every of my supporters on this program, beyond ashamed supporters. Abimbola, Dr. Deji, Yusuf, I appreciate you, everyone. God bless you. Thanks for watching. See you next week. It's still your amiable Toyo. And please do not forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. The link is attached to this video. God bless you. Love you. Bye.